Hello and welcome to the 1/160th of a second photography podcast. This is a follow-up from episode 196, Cameras at the Wedding, and in episode 196 I explained I was going to a wedding. I didn't want to be Mr. Professional Photographer at the wedding, I just want to go and enjoy myself, and I sort of talked about someone who I saw at a previous wedding I was at. They were a guest but they had all the kit. That wasn't me, I didn't want to do that, and I said I'm going to take my iPhone 13, and I explained why, and I'm going to take my Ricoh GR3. So that was the plan, but when it came down to it, I didn't take my Ricoh GR3, I took my DJI Action 2 and I packed it in my bag, and I'd actually left the DJI Action 2 at home, so I just had my smartphone with me, my iPhone 13. So I took a few pictures using portrait mode and a few bits of video and thought nothing of it. What was really interesting about the wedding was the wedding photographer there, for the group photo, he just used a drone. He didn't even use the camera in his hands. So I'd seen him around. He had two cameras with him that was fairly standard for wedding photography. One had a telephoto, one had a wide angle lens on. And yeah, he was about, saw him, thought not much of it, got to the group photo. He just put up a very light drone, took a couple of pictures, that was that. And I've seen them. I've seen those pictures. They've gone on Facebook, and I've seen them. Those ones from the drone. And his wedding photography was very good. I saw the pictures. Thought, yeah, they're very good pictures throughout the day. But tragedy struck because the wedding photographer got called away in an emergency. And unbeknown to me, but I didn't know this, but I saw someone I know who had a DSLR with them, and they were going around. And I said, why are you doing that? There's a wedding photographer. And they said, no, there's not a wedding photographer. They've been called away. And the groom has asked me to take some photos because they know I've got a good camera with me. So, right. Okay. So later at the night, he was sort of going around taking lots of pictures and stuff, and I offered to do some for him and just to give him a break. And it was a Nikon camera, which I wasn't used to, but I soon figured out how to use it. Can't be that difficult. And it was fine. I took some pictures. I didn't disclose that I'd done wedding photography before or anything like that. I just took some pictures for him, give him a break from doing it, because he was basically being a bit of a stand-in wedding photographer. So I tried to get a few more images on my iPhone, more of the nighttime party that was going on. Now, even though my iPhone is incredibly good in low light for a smartphone, the images were grainy. It was, it wasn't as good as a traditional camera, and it never was going to be. And certainly didn't have a flash with me, and you sometimes need flash in those situations. I didn't have my little iPhone flash with me or anything. And also, I found using the iPhone for this meant I couldn't get in that close. So sometimes what you want to do is you want to capture special moments, but you don't want to go right up to someone and capture special moments. I saw loads of special moments with with guests, people in the family, some of the children, some of the babies there. And had I had a telephoto lens, I could have got that image without intruding on people, without them knowing I was taking a picture, because of course if you go up to someone and you take a picture, they pose and you sort of lose that moment. So I found I was actually really quite restricted doing wedding photography with an iPhone, whereas I thought I wouldn't be, because I was going to be doing it as a guest. Well, I was going to be taking a few images as a guest, but I wasn't, and I ended up a little bit restricted, and I would have loved to have some telephoto lenses. I also really regretted not taking the Ricoh GR, because in low light, it's very difficult sometimes to lock focus. So I could have set the Ricoh GR to have manual focus and a predetermined distance. It's snap focus. And the Ricoh GR has a very good sensor, and it'll be good in low light. And you can set things for like highlight priority. So I could have got some really good images, and I could have got some really good images of the nighttime activities and people dancing, people having a good time and not noticing I was there. Now, even though I said the Ricoh GR, the Ricoh GR is a wide angle lens, but even though I said I wanted telephoto with the Ricoh GR, I could just walk past and snap a shot and no one would be the wiser, because it's such an unintrusive camera With the iPhone, you sort of got to focus and stuff. You can't quite do that with the iPhone. So I didn't expect to be taking wedding photos. I ended up taking a few wedding photos. I didn't expect to be sort of standing in for a wedding photographer, but I wish I had certain kit with me to do that stand-in job just for 20 minutes, just for half an hour, not so that I'm taking up all my time at the wedding as Mr. Photographer. But yeah, it would have been really nice to help out. I did help out, but I didn't feel I could do as much as I would normally. So that was the wedding. So it was really interesting. Like I say, the photos the wedding photographer took were really good, really well balanced, excellent. Interesting to see a drone be used for the group shot. And sadly, my iPhone wasn't up to traditional wedding photography. Not that I expected it to be, but there we are. So that's an update on the wedding photography. Thank you. Goodbye.